Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about all of the books that I read this year for the Sleep When I'm Dead book club. If you don't know, Sleep When I'm Dead book club is hosted by Jessie from Reading with Jess. She is my best friend and I absolutely love her thriller book club. And I will have all of the information about her club linked in the description box of this video in case you're not already a part of it. She has great things planned for 2024 and she already has the first 3 picks of the year and her co-hosts picked. And so I will make sure I link that video down below. She has a Discord channel. She's done author interviews. It's overall a super fun time. And this year I made it a goal to read every single book that was chosen for the book club. I made all of these books a priority for her book club. And today I just kind of wanted to review all of the books and let you know which ones I liked, which ones I didn't. Kind of rank them a little bit, like maybe didn't really like, mid, and like my favorites. I don't really remember all of the co-hosts and all of the things, so you'll definitely have to check out all of the information in the description box. But should we start with December? So we'll just go in reverse order. So for December, Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger. This, as of this recording, this discussion hasn't even happened yet. And I know it's happening around the 18th, maybe. Yes, I think on the 18th of December. And I think this video is going up the day before. So tomorrow is the book discussion of Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger. And it's going to be Jessie, of course, and then Gabby from Gabbing About Books. This is a shorter kind of thriller. It is set around like Christmas time. And it does have slight Christmas vibes, but it's basically about this true crime podcaster that returns to this or goes to this small town to kind of figure out about this serial killer that's behind bars, but other women have been going missing and kind of like the same MO has been happening. And so a while ago, there was like this party where the main character's best friend was killed and then she was also attacked, but she survived. And I don't know, it's kind of twisty, kind of turny, but I just kind of felt mid about it. So yeah, go ahead and tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear all of their thoughts about this one. A true crime podcaster unwraps a bookseller's dark past in this chilling holiday mystery. In November, they read Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead, and I was so happy that this was chosen. She did that discussion with Elizabeth from Reading Riley, and I did get my book signed because I actually met the author prior to the book club in Richmond and have a video about that. But yeah, she was such a nice human being and I got to hear more about like the setup of writing it, why she wrote it, why she chose the setting, how she felt about the characters and the overall message and stuff like that. But then the great part about it is that Jessie did actually interview the author during the book club, and both her and Elizabeth had questions for her. And she's just such a warm, inviting author. She's very, very smart and she's very, very fun. And it was just a great author chat. But then after that, they had a really good chat about the book. And while this isn't my personal favorite Ashley Winstead, I can appreciate the story for what it is. So this is another one of those like mid-range type books. This story is about a killer haunting this small southern Louisiana town. You have the preacher's daughter and then you have this boy from the wrong side of the tracks, and they've been friends forever. There's kind of like this budding romance between them. It's kind of like a will they won't they situation, but they're really trying to find out like what's going on in their small town. And it also has some like religious themes to it and stuff like that. But again, I just found this kind of mid. In October, they read The Spare Room by Andrea Bartz, and I was a little hesitant going into this one, but it actually kind of was good. And offered some things that I don't read often in thrillers. This is set during like lockdown time. It's about this woman that kind of like online bumps into a friend from, you know, her past, and her fiance are kind of going through it. And so she ends up moving in with her friend and her friend's husband, and just like weird, strange things start happening. And it really kind of surprised me. This was my first Andrea Bart's book. So I would say this is a little bit above mid, but not like too much. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't like bring the thrills, and I wasn't like turning the pages as fast as I could. But overall, I did enjoy reading this one, and I would recommend it if, you know, isolation thrillers are your thing. So there was not a book club pick in September because that's when we did the Sleep When I'm Dead readathon, and I did participate in that, and I do have a vlog dedicated to that readathon available on my channel if you are interested. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, definitely check that vlog out. In August, they read A Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. And surprisingly, this is my least favorite Samantha Downing book. This one just really let me down. It didn't really feel like a thriller at all. It said it was a romantic suspense, but it really wasn't even that, in my opinion. It was very slow paced. It was very focused on this couple that has kind of like this like toxic connection, and then like something that happened in the past. But like the lead up to whatever was happening in the past wasn't even that great. And then like what it actually wasn't that fascinating either. So I just really don't understand. Like, I really hope she goes back to writing what she did previous to this. But again, Jessie on her channel did an author interview. And again, the author is so warm and inviting and fun, and had a lot of insight into her characters and why she wrote this story. So those author interviews really do bring her book club to the next level. It really does give you insight into the book, things to think about that you may not previously have thought about. And that definitely happened in this book. So my feelings when I read it were pretty low, but after hearing the author talk about it and just talk about it with other members of the book club, it raised slightly. All right, and then they read The Only One Left by Riley Sager in July, and I was a part of that book club discussion, and it was just so much fun. This was such a good thriller. I just love Riley Sager. He's one of my favorite thriller authors, and this was no exception. I won't say this is my favorite by him, but I still rated it 5 stars and overall really enjoyed it. Or did I rate it 4 stars? Maybe I rated it 4 stars. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It was a great discussion. It's about this woman that goes and caretakes for this woman that supposedly killed her entire family, but she was acquitted. And so you don't really know. But then once the caretaker gets to the house, Kit gets to the house, all of these like weird things start happening, and she starts like slotting clues together to figure out like what really happened in the past and what's going on in the present. And it had really good ominous vibes, very good like house on the coast, you know, crumbling away, you know, into the sea and stuff like that. So I really did enjoy that one. So that's like one of the higher rated books of the year for me for Sleep When I'm Dead. In June, they read The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda, and I think this is only my second Megan Miranda book, and overall this one was higher than average, but not like a 5-star read. I really liked the atmosphere. This is kind of like a group of friends that had this tragic accident happen when they were like in high school, and they've always like stayed together and met on the anniversary of this traumatic event happening. And the story is really cool because it's told in like reverse order, like starting at when they're in the Outer Banks, like doing their little reunion get together thing, and then in between chapters, you're kind of like starting at the end and going to the beginning. And it's not until the very end that everything really makes sense. So I like the way that it was written in that way. And I also really liked the characters and the setting. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So this is pretty high up there for enjoyment as well. In May, they read You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. And this is only my second Geneva Rose book that I've read. And I ate this up. I was in it to win it. Like as soon as I started reading it, I was just absolutely absorbed into the story. Is it like a literary masterpiece? No, but I was just so in it, and I was like screaming at the main character, like all of these red flags that were popping up. I was like, is she literally being this like dense? Like, oh my gosh, why is she not seeing all of these red flags? And there's also like a budding romance as well, but it's about this woman that goes and stays in this like ranch, Airbnb situation. She just kind of needs a break from things. And while she's there, the person, like it's in a house, and the man that owns the Airbnb is staying there as well. And so, like I said, a romance kind of starts between them, but there's all of these like weird things happening that like the residents of the town seem a little weird. There's things weird, like the basement is locked, and like, I don't know, there was just weird things going on. And you're just trying to piece together like what is actually happening here. And I just had so much fun reading this one. I think this is my favorite 2023 Sleep When I'm Dead book club pick. So we're going to put that aside as we go through the rest, and we'll see, you know. In April, they read The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. So they read this one, and that's the sister of Andrea Bartz. So I think that that's really cool that that happened. I think that's really fun that she basically read the sister's books in 2023. This one, I don't think it was for me. Initially, it sounds like it's going to be really, really good about these authors competing for this like prize, and they have to go to this like woman's house, and they're all like writing their different stories. But then like while they're there, it kind of turns into this like weird fever dream. Like you don't really know what's happening. It's a little eerie, but not eerie enough. It was kind of like it needed to go deeper on every front for me. It wasn't mysterious enough. It wasn't dark enough. The characters weren't developed very well. Yeah, it was just all kind of surface level for me. If it would have gone darker and like, I don't know, if I would have connected to any of the characters, like maybe, but this was one of my like least favorites of the year. In March, we read The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. This is about two friends that are both writers, and they go to this Italian villa, and they're like writing. But then they discover like dark secrets from the past. Like it's like a past and present timeline, because you have what's happening in the present with these two friends that don't really seem to have that great of a relationship, if I'm being completely honest. And then you hear about this other group of people that would go to the same villa in the past, and like things that happened then. This is one of my least favorite Rachel Hawkins, but honestly, Rachel Hawkins is an author that I continue to pick up. I'm always interested in her books, but they always somehow let me down. So I don't know. I do have The Heiress on my TBR, or my most anticipated list for 2024, but like, how often am I going to keep picking up her books and then not enjoying them? So it was okay. You know, it was one of those mid-range books. In February, we read Malice House by Megan Shepherd, and this is the first book that I ever read by this author, and this was just not for me. I liked the vibes of like the town, the bookshop, even the house, but it's about this woman that is going to her father's house to kind of clean it out since his passing. And he used to be an author, and she's kind of an illustrator. So she finds this book, this bedtime story for monsters, and she starts drawing these monsters based on the book. And then the monsters come to life. So it has that like fantastical horror, magical realism element, and that's just not the story for me. I was slightly interested in the next book, but I haven't picked it up. So I think I'm just going to like erase it from my memory and just like not pick it up, but never say never. But this is one of the lower rated picks this year. And then finally in January, they started the year with Off the Deep End by Lucinda Berry. And that was such a great way to kick off the book club for the new year, because it was Jessie and my friend Lena that did the book club discussion, and they interviewed Lucinda Berry. And Lucinda Berry is just like a character all of her own. I absolutely ate up everything that she talked about. This is one of my it was fine, it wasn't that great, but I will continue to read her books because they bring such interesting topics, all kind of different psychological things that I don't really know about or think about or realize. But in this one, you have a mom that has like her son and her son's like friend that she's like, driving to and from school, like carpool situation. And the car like goes off the deep end and into the water, and she has to try to save the kids, and she pulls her son out of the water, or she thinks she does, because when she gets to the top, she realizes that she saved not her son. So now she's got the guilt of that. Reeling from the death of her son, she spirals into violent and unstable mental state. And 10 months after the accident, she's still trying to reckon with the fact that she rescued Isaac, another woman's child, when Isaac suddenly vanishes. So it has lots of interesting elements woven into the story. So looking at all of the books that we read and discussed this year, I'm sticking with my original thought with You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose being my favorite pick of the year. I was just totally absorbed in this. I read it so fast and I just loved the pacing and the reveals and all of that. So I really liked this one. If I had to pick a second favorite, it's of course going to be the Riley Sager book. So yeah, these are my two favorites from 2023. Don't forget to check the description box for all of the information about Sleep When I'm Dead. Go follow Jessie on YouTube so you don't miss any of the other announcements of the picks and the guests. And I really look forward to being able to do this again with you guys next year. If you participated in Jessie's book club, let me know if you read all of the book club picks, or if you just pick and chose the ones that you were interested in. And if you've read one or more, let me know what your favorite of the year was. But that's all I have for you today. Jessie's little icon for her book club is a ghost. So if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave the ghost emoji down in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye, friends.